And we are live. Hello and welcome to the Lion Show. I'm your host, your favorite business coach, Robert Lyon. Today we have the great privilege of talking to Robert Foster. He's a public speaker. He's a public speaker. He's a public speaking coach. He's just an awesome guy. He helps people get unstuck. And I'm just super excited to have him on the show today. So Robert, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of tell everybody who you are and what you're up to?
Thank you for having me. It's cool that we share the same name. So that's a good start right there. But I live in Cranston, Rhode Island. So I own a gym, a fitness center. I help busy moms get into the best shape of their lives. And I'm a speaker coach, and I just help people take the stories that's hiding within them and turn them into powerful messages and stories.
Awesome, man. I always try and study how to make a good story. So do you have any tips on that? Because sometimes there's not a lot of good information.
The first step is to believe that everything that you have inside of you, there's someone out there that needs to hear it. So when most people are telling stories, they don't really tell it with the power that the stories actually have. Like, I donated a kidney to my sister in 2011. So if I just come and say, yes, I donated a kidney to my sister's doing great now. Like, that's not a powerful story. But if I take you through step by step from the day she called me, which was Christmas 2009, to the tone of her voice, to the look on her husband's face as she was going through the process, like, you pull people into the story, and that's how you connect with your audience. So there's actually an art form to storytelling.
That's awesome, man. Well, also crazy good that you gave your sister a kidney. That's pretty intense. So one of my favorite questions to ask kind of coaches and stuff like that is like, how did this start, or what is the story that kind of led you to become a speaking coach or to become a story coach?
Well, to become a coach, 9 times out of 10, you're already doing it without realizing it. So we can go all the way back to when I was in school playing sports, being a captain of the sports team. It's like you're constantly trying to help unlock the potential of your teammates. And from there, I got into managing restaurants. What am I doing? Unlocking the potential of my coworkers and staff. And so then just as I started moving forward, I just started helping out people in life, helping people who are going through tough times, helping to get them to just talk about it. And then where it flipped for me, I actually went to a speaker boot camp down in Atlanta, part of Eric Thomas's group. He's one of the top speakers out there. And I went up there, I told my story, and I thought I blew everyone else out of the water. And on the way back, I'm driving back to Rhode Island from Logan Airport in Boston, and the CEO calls me and he's like, hey, you were far and away the most polished speaker at the conference. He's like, thank you. And I'm like, okay, feeling all good about myself. But then there was a pause, and the pause is never good because that means a but's coming. And so he's like, you're my most frustrating type of student. I was like, what do you mean? Like, you just said I was the most polished. He's like, yeah, but the problem is you were too polished. He said, you were so polished, there was no emotion in the story. And so I was like, oh, okay, I got it. So he was just telling me, you got to slow it down. You got to bring people in. So as I started connecting with more and more people, and especially since COVID, doing a lot of Zoom interviews and being in a lot of Zoom groups, and a lot of people don't know how to tell their stories. They don't at all. So I took everything that I learned at that speaker boot camp, and now I help people tell their stories. There was just a need for it.
Yeah. Did you get to work with ET?
Sure did.
That's sick, man. I'm jealous.
Yep. Yeah, he's an amazing dude.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome, man. Are you doing a lot of like virtual summits and virtual speaking now, or are you mostly just focused on coaching?
The podcast game is blowing up pretty well. Like, when I started this, I was just doing one day a week. Like, I'm up to 4 now, and I got guests coming from Australia, from Ireland, the UK, Mexico, Canada, of course, here in the US. Like, so that's occupying a lot of my time. So I do the gym in the morning. I usually speak at least twice per afternoon. And then, I'm back at the gym in the evening. So that's the bulk of my time. And then with the business coaching, I kind of sprinkle that in between because I am only one person. So I don't want to spread myself too thin.
I think that's good, man. Do you think like your workout and like being a super healthy guy kind of helps you do more be a better speaker, or like have a better presence and just be healthier? I mean, do you ever think there's any connection, or is it totally different things?
I I, I personally think they're they're totally different, because there's some phenomenal speakers who are just not healthy. So, trying to put it nicely, but I mean, but the grind is the same. Because like if you want to be a good speaker, you got to practice. You got to put the work in. You have to be able to tell your stories in a manner that the audience wants to hear it, not in the way you want to tell it. So like that's what I had to learn, because I was up there just telling it the way I wanted to tell it, and then not realizing, like once CJ said that to me and I flipped it, now like people hang on my every word when I get into the stories, and it's such a big difference. So like if you're in the gym, if you want to put on weight, put on muscle, lose weight, get faster, get stronger, whatever it is, you have to work at it. So the grind makes the other one. Oh, I knocked my microphone out.
It's all good. Getting too excited,
Okay,
man. Getting all pumped.
Yeah.
No, I totally
That's
agree.
how I get when I get very animated.
Yeah, you're good, man. No, I totally agree. If you want to be good at anything, you really kind of go all in and have the grind and have the what's the word, like the follow through or something, the grit. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
Well, that's kick ass, man. How long have you been speaking for?
Professionally since 2017, but like I said, even when I was managing restaurants, we're constantly doing staff meetings, service meetings, kitchen meetings. So I've always been up in front of people talking. But like, 2017 was when I was like, why don't I do this for real? It's like, because I'm doing it anyway. Like I said earlier, most people that go on to create businesses, it's stuff that they're already doing, and not like you don't even realize it's marketable.
Yeah. So when you're going to craft like your home run, like whatever you're going to say, public speaking, I'm trying to think of the word, like your presentation, I guess. What is like the 80-20 that you think, like emotion, like what else is really important if you want to just rock everybody?
If you can hit all of the emotions in one talk, that's a kick-ass talk. So if you want them laughing, you want them shocked, you want them, obviously happy. If you can get them to feel everything, it's kind of like if you watch the best movies, it gets you. It gets you on the edge of your seat. Sometimes it gets you laughing. Sometimes it gets you like, holy crap, sometimes. And you want your story to be like that too. Like for an example, getting back to the kidney donation story, growing up, like when I first got my license, I was like very, very ignorant to organ donation, where it was like, like I'm not getting that sticker. I said, I was born with my organs. I'm dying with my organs, like it's like it's super ignorant, and it makes people chuckle, but they're also like, wow, he was a jerk. But then when I get into, when she called me and how everything switches, like it all ties in. Then by the end of it, they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. It's like, see, but when I started this, you thought I was an ass. So it's good to hit all the emotions.
Yeah, just be super engaging.
Yes.
Hit all the emotions. And then like you practice, right? You just practice. How do you practice, or how do you think you've improved most? Is it just getting on stage, or is it just like every day trying to do something?
No, I mean, it sounds cliche, and I know I'm a coach. It's not why I'm saying this, but when I got the coach, that was when things changed. Like I said, I never had a problem speaking on camera, but it was just a difference with, like I said earlier, how people receive the message. I was so focused on how I delivered the message, not really how it was going to be received by the other party. So we had our own Facebook group, and we would have little challenges every day. We'd have to do just a 3-minute video on the most random topic. So it could be like this mug. And so if my core story is about focusing on your fitness goals, I had to somehow work a green mug into that story. So they just teach you how to be adaptable within your story. So like, say if I'm telling you something, and then you say something, then I can tie your something into my story. So like they teach you to be really adaptable. So but we did that every day. I don't do it anymore because I have it down now. But I did that every day for probably about three months to really get the hang of it.
Yeah, to make you more comfortable. What's that called? Like the actors, they have like props and they like do whatever, like spontaneous comedians. I can't think of it.
Yeah, improv.
Yeah, improv comedy. There you go. Improv public speaking. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, like in my it's true. In my demo reel, there's a clip of me speaking at that Atlanta conference, and he had us lined up, and when it was your turn, you had 2 minutes, You had to get up in front of the group, and he just gave you a random topic and said, all right, go. So for me, I get up there and I'm like, I'm really good at this part. He gives me sleep apnea. I had no idea what that was. So I just took the sleep part of it. I did my thing. I was like, no, it should keep you up at night like you have sleep apnea, and everybody started cracking up laughing. And I'm like I didn't know what to do with that, but I made it work.
Yeah.
So they teach you there. They teach you to be adaptable.
That's awesome, man. So with your coaching, you're just kind of like helping people craft their message, their story, and then like
Yes.
how do you go from like the whole big story into such a consolidated thing?
Well, it's honestly, I just let them talk first, because most of the time people will say something super powerful and not even realize it. So as I'll just ask them questions like, tell me about your upbringing, how was your relationship with your family, and just ask those questions, and I write down their answers. And then from their answers, I'll be like, you have some serious stories here.
Yeah.
So we can talk about how you felt alone as a child, and then how you were bullied in school, and then through college you knew you wanted to go into a different direction, and so you pivoted and did this, right? So I just take what they tell me and we craft the story that way. So it's very organic. I just teach them how to better use their own words.
Yeah. How to be more alive with it and make it juicy so people are really wanting to listen to it. That's cool,
Yes.
man. I dig it. Has the coaching thing been? It's just been kind of new, right? Or have you been
Yeah.
doing it for a little? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just started. Just
Yeah.
started 2 weeks ago.
Well, I'm all
Yeah.
about marketing
Definitely.
and
Go ahead.
businesses. So like I think like crafting your story helps you sell just about anything, especially if you hit all the emotions and you connect with people on some level. Like it's just so important. And I think it's going to be more important to be more authentic. I feel like authenticity is like the new currency of a lot of businesses. So I think you're
Yes.
fighting the good fight, man.
Thank you. Yeah, someone inboxed me yesterday, just a random someone, and they're like, "Hi." I'm like, "Hi," and he's like, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "Do you want more followers?" Block. It's like, it's like, at least talk. Get to know me, get to know what I do. It's like you don't. They call it, don't try to jump in bed in the first 5 minutes. And
Right.
that's pretty much what he did. It's like, nope. It's like, if you don't know by now that that's not how you do that, then you yourself need a coach.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So how are you helping people get unstuck? Understand that's on your thing. So what does that look like?
So I have a 7-step process. I know everybody has processes out there, but this is just something that I was doing with my fitness clients. Again, going back to what I said, how people are doing things and don't realize how powerful it is. So I was already doing it with my clients. Whereas, we would start off with I call it the pain assessment, where we get their current state. Again, hitting all the emotions, like what makes you happy, what makes you sad, are you comfortable where you are, why haven't you changed in the past? We'd hit all those. But then the big one, the second step, is eliminating the excuses, because people have 5,000 excuses why they can't do stuff. So we tackle them up front. So whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's spouse, whether it's kids, whether it's because you're on the PTO or you're a volunteer coach, we write everything down. And then how's it going to be different this time? So all right, so you've always struggled with money. How is it going to be different this time? And you struggle with time. How are you going to better manage your time? And we just iron that out. Once we get to that point, the rest is pretty smooth sailing, because you can have, I'm sure, being into marketing and stuff, you can have the best laid plan, but then once life starts throwing you curveballs,
Yeah.
then people throw the plan right out the window. And so by tackling the excuses up front, you're more better prepared when they arise.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting things that I've figured out recently is that you got to always look at what's not working and what's holding you back, not just what you're going to do. You got to find, like, if you have weaknesses, like figure them out and then figure out what you're strong at so that you can just go as fast as possible and get to where you're going and not mess with all the other BS. So I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So are you enjoying going on all these podcasts and talking all over the world? Like how's that experience been? It's been pretty cool.
I could do this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm speaking in a Australian news station tomorrow. It was supposed to be tonight, but they moved me to tomorrow. But that's going to be my third time on that one, and it's pretty cool. Gotta
That's
say.
awesome, man. So behind you it says "shut up and grind." Is that just like
Yes.
get everybody just get going, man? Do something. Be
That's the name of my podcast. Like, actually, 11 years ago. Do you remember Blog Talk Radio?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was like one of the first kind of online streaming platforms that came out. But I had a show on there called Shut Up and Exercise. And so I didn't want to just be pigeonholed into fitness. And like, I know it's all about, being niched, but the grind is global. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what you do, with if you're an athlete, if you're an author, if you're a cement layer, like it doesn't matter what industry. For you to be successful, you have to grind. So
Right.
I switched it to shut up and grind. And as I said, the process I use with my clients, I use the exact same process now when I'm doing my business coaching, because it's all the same. So the third one is casting a vision. Like the fourth one is setting crystal clear goals. The fifth one is assessing the support system. The next one is the hell's the next one? Oh, the actual action plan. And then module 7, the whole module, grind, adapt, repeat.
Yeah, man.
That's the whole module.
You just got to take action, especially if you have a plan, then you have to do it. I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs or mindset stuff that people have to break through. So, just kind of, it's just life, and it's just you getting in your own way. But if you just stick to the grind, like if I can get out of my own head and just start doing shit, I make tons of money. But if I'm in my head and I'm stuck, like I'm just screwed, man. So definitely got to keep grinding, man.
Yeah. And that's something I had to do on my own. Like with this podcast stuff, I bought all this stuff 2 years ago, and I didn't start doing anything until COVID shut my gym down. And that's when I was like, well, I have all this stuff. I have extra time. Yeah. So I just turned on the camera one day and just started talking. Like my first 8 episodes, I didn't have any guests. It was just me talking. And then, like I said, I used to just do Wednesdays. Now I'm doing 4 days a week, and I'm booking into June now, with guests. It's just amazing.
That's so cool, man. And is it mostly business, or is it just speaking? What do you do on the podcast?
Well, the main theme is overcoming obstacles, resilience, and just, getting clear on what you want. Because again, and being in all these other groups, I find so many people can't answer the simple question, what do you want? Most people don't know. It's like they don't know. So I just bring on guests that kind of, because all of us have been through there at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how old you are, but like there were no podcasts 30 years ago besides Howard Stern. Like there were none. So, so now, like, so people along the way, they had a shift. And I just get people to share that shift, because like most people want to come on and just talk about all their successes, but people identify with the struggle. Yeah. So I give people like let's go to your backstory and let's build the story out. Like it's a 1-hour show. So we don't have to hit the home run in the first 10 minutes. Like let's build the story out and let people see what you went through, because that's what's going to keep them engaged in the show.
Nice, man. So you're putting in the production, making it awesome, man. That's sick.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about doing a TEDx talk. So I'm trying to work on making my my speech kind of kick ass, and I'm just kind of getting to the processes. I talked to another guy. You should probably have him on your show. He's awesome. He's like the mental health comedian. I don't know. He's a crazy guy, but he teaches people how to get on TEDx shows, and he basically just gave me the secret sauce. So I'm going to go and do it. So
nice. That's awesome.
How do you think you would practice for something like that, like a big show or something like that? Like, just what do you think?
For TEDx, I will never do one.
No.
Shit. No, Oh no. It's just me. It's why? Because I cannot speak scripted. I just can't do. You just give me a topic, say, Rob, talk about resilience. I'll get up there and I'll blow your socks off for 1 hour. If I have to write it down first, it's like, because I know with TEDx you have to submit it ahead of time. Because my sister did. She's a speaker also. She did one. And she's like, you got to follow guidelines and all this other stuff. And I'm, like I said earlier, I'm live and raw. Like I get on stage, you're getting what you're getting. But that's where I'm at my best. Like if I had, you have to hear me. I'm in my office area here in my house. And if I have to pre-record something, you don't understand how many takes it is. It's like, hi, this is Rob Foster with RBF. Crap. All right, this is Rob Foster with RBF. Damn it! It's like you just start randomly screaming because I can't do it. But if I just get up here, turn on the camera, I can talk for hours.
Yeah, man, be your authentic self. I'm the same way. If I just need bullet points and then I kind of can flow. So I didn't know I had to write a speech for TEDx, so now I'm screwed. But
no,
I'm just kidding. How do you think you can build like a good speaking business in the COVID era? What are your tips?
Well, the tips now is to do as much virtual as you can. And the biggest thing is now you can go global without traveling.
Yeah.
Like that's huge. Like that wasn't really available a year ago. And now you can be anywhere. Like where are you now?
Arizona.
Yeah, so you're in Arizona. I'm in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
2,500 miles away, but yet here we are.
Right.
So it's just taking advantage of all the virtual opportunities, because there's so many associations, there's so many businesses. Just with one Google search, you got 1,000 leads right at your fingertips of people looking for speakers.
Yeah. How are you looking for business speaking? You just like Googling them up and then saying, hey, I'm a speaker. I could Zoom talk to your guys this morning or something.
I'm honestly focusing on growing the podcast
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, focus on growing this, because this is something they can't take away from me.
Right.
Like the gym, they shut the gym down. So when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm really not working for me, because they shut me down.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't shut this down. Even if they shut down YouTube, I can make my own personal website and keep it going there.
Yeah,
So this can't be shut down. So I'm just working on growing this. Maybe get some sponsorships. Work on monetizing the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I think if you do coaching, if you pitch that a little more, I think that would be a good monetization thing, because everybody wants to work on their story. People are most interested in themselves. So if you help them make themselves sound cooler, you're set.
It's funny, when the guests come on my show, they always send me a bio, and I don't ever read what they send me. So it's like on air, I should say, because like I said, this is my podcast notebook. I take their words, I look at their website, and I write my own intro. Because I'm kind of loud, and I'm out there, and I just give them like these just awesome intros. Like the woman I had on my show today at 11, she's like, oh my God, she's like, I need to like hire you to just follow me around and introduce me. Try to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's fun, man. I like that. That's a cool way to do it.
It's a great way to open the show. There's a lot of, and because I told you it's live, so it's like I got to capture them right out of the gate.
Yeah. Well, no, for the YouTube algorithm, if you're really interesting in the first like couple seconds, it's really good to get more views and build your channel and stuff like that. So I think just keep doing that, man. Keep kicking ass. I'm thinking about trying to ask my guests like the most important question right out the gate. That's what I've been told to do, but then I don't do it. But I think about it. I'm like, yeah, let's just get right into it. But I'm more casual, and I kind of want to just talk and meet people, so it's fun.
Yeah, it's like I told you how I do it. Just like we build into the story.
Yeah, that's
just
awesome.
Try to hold people's attention for the whole time. Because like I used to do a half an hour, but it just went by too fast.
Yeah,
like I felt rushed. And I was like, if people can watch a 1 hour soap opera, we're giving life changing stuff we're talking about here. So
yeah, exactly.
I was like, you know what? Let's do it for an hour.
Bring in the straight dope. Have you figured out a good way to keep your network of people that you do shows with? Like, have you figured out once you do the show, or once you publish the show, a good way to keep in contact? I'm just wondering.
Just on Facebook Messenger. Like I keep pretty good touch with all of them. I mean, I've only done 43 shows so far, but like I keep pretty well in touch with all of them.
Yeah, it's fun with these podcasts, man. You get to talk to people all over the world. I talk to people way smarter than me, and I'm just oh man, I want to hang out with you. You're cool.
Yes. Have you heard of Restoration 911?
Mm-mm.
No, it's a pretty big restoration company. Obviously, I had two shows ago. When was this? This was on Friday. I had the founder of that on my show, and he has an incredible story. I'll pass his name off to you, because he would be good for you as well.
Nice.
But like his story was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And like this dude could buy and sell me 10 times over. So it's like I'm keeping him in the Rolodex.
Right.
So that's the thing, because like you never know who they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All it takes is just one connection can change absolutely everything.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to add as much value as I can to everybody that comes on, and hopefully that just creates a perpetual value machine. It's pretty sweet.
Yes. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So what was your best like speaking gig that you think of, or that really gets you excited when you think about?
In 2016, I spoke at an event called the Fit Ranks World Conference, and it was in Vegas.
Nice.
And it was like at the time I hadn't been in front of that many people before. I mean, it was maybe 110 people, but just for me, it was a lot. This was before I even got the professional training in 2017. But to just be up on stage, and the topic was becoming who you were meant to be, so when I was at the tail end of managing restaurants through making a shift to pursue fitness like I wanted to in the beginning, I just had that little 20-year gap where I wasn't making it happen. So just telling that journey and then just urging people to just step into their power. And at the end of it, I get off the stage, and these three people came up to me in tears, just bawling. They were saying, like everything you said resonated with us, and thank you for being vulnerable and showing your passion. They're like, we know that we can be successful based on what you just shared. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I was like, this stuff is real. This isn't just words. Like, this is really powerful that it affected these people that much.
Yeah, man. I love it. There was this quote. It's like most people are just grown up kids, and kids love stories. So
yeah, it's true. It's the oldest. It's the oldest form of entertainment. Is storytelling.
Yeah. And if you can have an impact or change someone's life, man, that's just badass.
Yes, absolutely. And get paid for it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Have you made pretty good money speaking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm scratching the surface, but yeah, it doesn't suck.
Yeah, I've never gotten paid to speak, so I figured I'd ask. It'd be cool.
You know what it is? You just have to ask.
Right.
You just have to ask. Like a lot of places, they have the budget, but if you're willing to do it for free, then they're not going to pay.
Right.
So, if you ask, then you'll be surprised the checks they write.
That's awesome.
Depending on where you speak.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the Dale Carnegie public speaking course or whatever, just because it's something I wanted to do. Did the thing with ET really help you and take you to that next level?
Yeah, as far as giving you clarity and showing you how to craft the stories.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like I have a story about an apple bob contest that I usually open up the longer speeches with that one because it's just a good icebreaker. It gets people laughing, and I'm just extra animated when I tell it. But it's about a friggin' apple bob contest, and they taught me how to turn that into something powerful. So,
nice.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying people don't understand the power in their stories. Like something that's so insignificant to them can, if spoken the right way, can mean the world to someone else. So I had this guy on my show. He had jaw surgery, and he has like metal in his jaw because he had I don't remember if it was a cyst or a tumor, but he had a big mass in his jaw, so he had to have it removed. And as he's telling me the story, like I always do, I'm writing notes. Yeah. And so I said to him, I was like, "Have you ever considered sharing that on stage?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "What? Why would I do that?" I was like, "What was going through your mind before they cut you open?" And he's like, "Man," he's like, I was scared. He's like, "I didn't know if I'd talk again." And I was like, "Dude, listen to what you just said." Yeah. Like you had fear. You had a real concern. Said you had a tumor growing in your face. So like, that's a big deal. Right?
Yeah,
like,
man.
Not knowing what you're going to look like post-surgery. Are you going to need plastic surgery? Like there's a whole lot to unpack from that story. And he was just blown away. He's like, "Wow." I was like, "Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff I learned by going through that course with ET. It's like they teach you how to take something that sounds ordinary and make it sound friggin' amazing."
Yeah, that's important. I think Les Brown has a thing where it's like your power voice, So
yes. Yeah.
That's what you got to find. You got to step into the room and just be the power voice and take people on like a journey with your words.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm all about the listener's success. So do you have any tips that might help people to be more successful or be successful in their coaching careers or speaking that we haven't talked about?
The biggest thing is to just believe that what you say matters. So, because if you don't speak with clarity, if you don't speak with power, like as you said, when you walk into a room and you start talking, if the room stops, you got it. Yeah. You absolutely got it. I spoke at an event. This was right before the shutdown. Our event was March 1st. The first stay at home orders went in March 3rd. So we were just able to have that event. And so now I was the keynote for the event. So the first two speakers that went, people were kind of mingling around, going to the vendor tables and everything. And, the next one goes, same thing, small group of people around them. So before I started, I grabbed the mic and I'm like, all right, I need everybody up to the front.
Yeah.
Everybody came up to the front, right? And I sat out there for about a good half an hour and not one person budged. And again, and I hit all the emotions and I was talking about an obstacle race, like a Spartan race, but I spun it into a life lesson because I don't know if you've ever done a Spartan race, especially in the mountain areas. That like you climb and climb and climb and climb, and then you have to carry stuff, and then you have to jump in water, then you have to crawl. Sometimes it's freezing cold. And like you go through all these different elements, but I turned it into a life lesson. Like if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to climb mountains. You're gonna have to crawl in the dark. Like you're gonna have to get mud in your mouth. Like these things are gonna have to happen. But in a Spartan race, there's no way in hell you ain't crossing that finish line. So why are you giving up in life?
Yeah.
So you can take a story about an obstacle race and turn it into a life lesson.
Yeah. Do you try and find like the one powerful thing and then craft a story around that?
It depends on the audience. So
Yeah.
like any good speaker's got a whole arsenal, in their body of work. But you want to have one core story. Like with Eric Thomas and all of his speeches, he talks about his mom being a teenage mom, getting kicked out of his house at 17, eating out of trash cans. Like that's his core story. In every one of his speeches, he mentions those, regardless of the topic. So my core story, depending on the audience, is I had a major knee injury, I have the kidney story, and I have the Spartan race story, which my doctor didn't want me to do because I have one kidney.
Yeah.
And so depending on the topic, I have one of those three as my main go-to. And then there'll be little sub stories in between, like opening with the Apple Bob contest story. Then I'll get into the training for the event. Then I'll get into where I had the injury to what the doctor said, which will spin off into a conversation with my now ex. And then we come back to the core story. So that's the best way to craft it, and that way you're not just like talking at the people, like you're bringing them to different places, but you stay along the path of the core story.
Yeah, so you're just trying to think about how the audience will listen to it. I think that's a huge takeaway, and I love the believe that what you say matters. That's really profound, actually.
Yeah, because people don't understand. One sentence can stick with somebody for life,
Yeah,
for absolute life. So, like, if someone tells a young girl at a young age that she's stupid, she's gonna stick with that. I mean, that's gonna stick with her forever. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Forever. So if you tell someone, did you know that you are powerful beyond measure? And
right.
then once they believe it, their whole world changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people don't hear that sometimes. There's a lot of people that could use more positive messaging and more things that stick in their mind that can tell them that they can do more with their life. So
Yeah, right. Perfect example. One of my clients, I said to her, one of my fitness clients, I was like, all right, I need a physical goal out of you for the week. And she's like, how about I climb the rope? I said, climb it now. I was like, why do you got to wait till next? Like, nothing major is going to change between you today and next week. I said, so just go over there and climb it now. And she's like, yeah, but I don't know how to. I said, let me show you how. Like I stated earlier, let me show you how. This is how you lock in. This is, you bring your arms up, you drive the legs, you relock, and you just repeat. So she starts going, and she starts going, and she starts going, and she zipped up, and she rang the bell. I was like, see, like you had the power all along. I was like, you were the one telling yourself that you didn't.
That's awesome, man. So the question that I'm asking everybody on the show is what motivates you and what is motivation?
So I'll answer the second one first, because in my gym, I don't allow them to say that word.
Really?
Yep. Because motivation's external. So that means people can point to it and say, oh, I was going to come, but I wasn't motivated. Back to the whole busting the excuses thing.
Yeah.
So I tell them, I say, either you're disciplined or you are not disciplined. So motivation has nothing to do with it. So now motivation can enhance the task. Like if I have to go upstairs and do dishes, I'll put on my headphones, put on some music, and I'll rock out the dishes. But I already had the discipline to go do the dishes in the first place. It's not like I put on music and then decide to go clean.
Yeah.
Right. See, so that's my take on it. But what keeps me going is moments like I just described with the rope. When people doubt themselves, I give them that push or that encouragement. They conquer the task, and their facial expression afterwards. That's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. And it doesn't matter if I'm doing the business coaching, if I'm speaking with people, or if I'm at the gym. Like it's that same look where they go from I can't to I can. Like I love that moment, and that's why I do what I do.
Yeah. So you think everybody should have the I can. I think it's like the growth mindset type of thing, people like that can think, I can do this, as opposed to people that think, oh, life is stagnant, can't do it.
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, it's about stepping into your power. It's like, what are
Yeah.
you good at? Like, don't worry about what she's good at or what he's good at. What are you good at? Because so many times, even in a gym, I tell people when they first come in, like, don't look at everyone else. Look at you. It's like right now you're behind the rest of them, so don't look at them. I said for you, we just want you to get through this class without puking. That's your only goal, is to just make it through. So don't worry about how much this one can carry or how fast that one runs. Don't worry about it. Business, it's no different. It's like, if I start comparing myself to Tony Robbins as a speaker, I'm going nowhere. So
Right.
I don't worry about him. I don't try to emulate ET. I'm Robert B. Foster. And I sit here and just try to make myself better, get more comfortable behind, get better sharing my stories, better connecting with people, and getting people to believe in themselves. Like as long as I do that, 20 years from now, there'll be people saying, no, I can't compare myself to Rob Foster. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. You got any tips just for burnout? I mean, we can all grind our lives away, but if you're working on a good dream, then it's good. But a lot of people aren't, and they're still grinding and burning their self out. Do you have any insight on that?
This is going to sound like a very simple answer, but whatever it is you love to do it often. Like
Yeah.
for me, I love to hike. Love being up here in New England. It's small compared to out there, Arizona. You can drive 5 hours and still be in Arizona. Like that doesn't happen here, right? So here, we can get to New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Western New York City, Connecticut. Like there's so many different places we can go. But I love to hike, to just get out in nature and just enjoy it. Take a weekend, get a cabin up in the mountains, and just unwind. So again, pre-COVID, I would do it at least once a month.
Nice.
So I mean, I was able to get out a few times, when restrictions were lifted. But it's just find what you like to do and just do it.
Yeah. Need recharge that way. I mean, life is all about doing more of what you like and less of what you don't.
Yeah, it's true. Because at the end of the day, if like when I pass away, no one's gonna be at my eulogies talking about money. They're not gonna be talking about cars or houses or any of that stuff, right? They're gonna talk about you. Like they'll say, "Oh, this one lived life to the fullest, and this one did this," and like that's at the end of the day, that's what really matters. You
Yeah.
know, that's what really matters, and that's the example I want to give to my kids. It's like they see me doing what I enjoy. They see me, taking my getaway sometimes with them, sometimes without them. Because I'm like, no, like I'm going solo this time. Like I let them know straight up. It's like,
Yeah.
Daddy needs a break, so I'm going solo. But it's very, very important and that's how I stay upbeat and positive all the time, because I take the time to do the things I enjoy.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm just curious. So when you have like a public speaking engagement where you just like fucking rock it, you just are awesome compared to one where it was just like meh, what do you think is like the 80-20 for the epic show compared to the other one?
Gotta be honest with you, I've never had a met one.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying like maybe where you just kill it. Like I'm just wondering if you have like a thing that you've noticed like that's just made like you just commanded the room so much better than the time before or something like that.
I mean, like I said, commanding the room and being transformational, because
Ah,
those are two different things. Because but pre-Atlanta, I was just all about commanding the room. Like he even told me, he's like nobody worked that room better than you did. But he's like, you were just glossing over, you were just flying through your story. It's like you weren't slowing it down. So now, trying to sell a $5,000 coaching program, it's like you want to slow things down, you want to hit those emotions, and you want to actually get people to transform.
yeah.
So like it's two different styles. Like if I'm just gonna be a hype man, like at that event I spoke at, I was actually the MC for that event too. And so being the MC, saying I got energy for days. So like I was
Right.
loving that role. But when it came time for my keynote, that's when I had to flip and switch into transformational mood. So
Yeah.
I think Answered your question.
No, that was good. That was very insightful. I'd like to can you explain a little bit more about how you're transforming people, or how you think about how you can transform people?
It's just getting them to getting them to believe, because sometimes you have to believe in them before they believe in themselves. And I started seeing that within the gym. So just telling people like, hey, you know what? I think you can swing that heavier kettlebell now. Like, really? What if I hurt myself? Like, you're not gonna hurt yourself. It's like, just stay true to the form, swing the belt, and you're good. And then they do it, and then now they start looking for the heavier belt. But so it's
Right.
but it takes me believing that they can do it before they believe they can do it. So
Nice.
it's the same scenario in business. Like going up to people. So out of my clients over the years, I've had 17 of my clients go on to become fitness coaches, all from 5 words. Have you ever thought of? Like, have you ever thought of being a fitness coach? Have you ever thought of being a speaker? Have you ever thought of having your own business? Like, just
Yeah.
that one sentence just unlocks people's imaginations. And then that's where that transformation comes in.
Nice. So you show them the door, and then you just kind of say, "You could go through that door."
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, man. Why don't you tell everybody where to find you and how to get into contact with you?
Absolutely. So you can contact me on my website. It's robertbfoster.com/speaker. And I have a free Facebook group called Speak About Yourself Out Loud, where I help you take the stories that are hiding inside of you that you may not want to share. I teach you how to pull those stories out, how to package them up, and use them to transform people's lives. You can use it to start a podcast, blogs. You can get featured on television, media, and like I said, it's 100% free. And you can just on Facebook, just search for Speak About Yourself, and it's the only group that'll pop up. Speak about yourself out loud.
I think I'm gonna join, man.
Oh, nice. Love it.
Out loud.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, man, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Is there anything else that you think you'd like to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, just that, again, there's always going to be mountains in your life. There's always going to be water streams to cross. You got to just roll up the sleeves, roll up the pant legs, get through it. And as I always say on my show, shut up and grind.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you everybody for listening, investing the time, and hearing us talk about stuff. And I bet everybody's ready to go shut up and grind after this, man. So
Love it.
be sure to like, subscribe, and then if you got any value, definitely share it with a friend and tell people about the show. Thank you very much. And thank you, Robert, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.